So Simon, you ended up top 2 with your team. What clan did you decide to play?
Link Joker, it's Chaos Messiah.
Did you have anything to say before the deck profile?
I guess I'll shout out to my team, to Illuminati. Playing to I guess my little shop, Kevin Cosplay, it's a nice little place. If I start naming people, I'm going to forget someone, so it's good.
So congrats with your top 2.
Yep. Okay.
So let's see the list.
So we're going to start with the grade 3s first. This is obviously the Chaos Breaker, because Chaos Breaker is the deck. That's where everything starts from. So you play 4 Chaos Breaker. I'm sure you know what Chaos Breaker does, so I'm not going to explain all the effects individually. Chaos Bringer, for the purpose of bringing out the Chaos Breaker. And 2 Alter Ego Messiahs. The reason for these guys is for the mirror match, because if you're in a mirror match against another Link Joker, they'll also be playing Amnesty Messiahs, and they're going to unlock before the end phase, so your Chaos Breakers aren't going to do anything. These guys actually do something. That's the purpose of these guys. This is why it's Chaos Messiah, and not just like pure Chaos. Otherwise we'd have pure Chaos. Grade 2s, we play 3 Photon. If you guys got a locked, call this lock another unit. The whole idea is you want to lock these 2 zones, the opponent, and then make it just so that you're only against the opponent's Vanguard, and then you won't be wasting any of your hand, you'll be drawing off the other cards that are locked, and you just win through advantage. 4 Colony Maker, because the grade 1s are so important in this deck, and Cannon Blasts are so minimal because Zinc exists. This searches out any grade 1 you want when called. 4 Arrestor Messiah. The reason for this is, I'm just going to have to quickly show you the trades. Trades I play are Genesis, Amnesty and Excelix, and when you go any of those turns, you go attack for 11, lock this, attack for 11, lock this, use Excelix or Amnesty, attack, unlock, the unlock is stood, and then attack for 16, attack for 16. So you get off like 5 attacks the turn that you do the Amnesty turn. And it's really easy to do it, and you can also do it if this guy is your Vanguard as well. So I mean, even if you've got, like, you know, you went into Big Crunch and you've done it over an Amnesty, these guys are active. So it's really easy to make those guys active. 4 Perfect Guard, the unflipped Perfect Guard, because I mean, there's no reason to not play the Perfect Guard. Just one, like, you don't care about your rear guards. I mean, most of the time I'll intercept my rear guards because I'll show you all 3 grade 2s. It's useless after the first turn it's summoned, useless after the first turn it's summoned, useless after the first turn it's summoned.
The grade 1s are like,
yeah, the grade 1s are really important. Yeah. So we play 2 of the Limb Break 4s. Reason for that is if one gets destroyed, you know, if you're up against Gero or any kind of matchup that has the ability to retire, or even Gear Chronicle, it's best to just have a second one, because sometimes this will be most necessary. Sometimes you'll win games on 2 or 3 damage, and that will be what wins you the game. 2 Destiny Dealers, absolutely necessary, because your strides are the entire deck. You don't want to be stuck on your grade 3. You have to run something that gets into it. 3 Zinc, which is put into soul, unflip 2 your damage, and put 2 cards from top of your deck into your soul. If you're on Chaos Vanguard, which 6 of them are, so I mean, it gets off most of the time. Even if you're on Amnesty Messiah, you can stride into this and then just actually choose not to use its effect, just because it's got the word Chaos in its name. And you can do that. So even if you're stuck on the Amnesty Messiah grade 3, you can still make these guys active. Obviously Cannon Blasts are essential in this deck. This is one of the changes. I was playing 3 of this card because I like that the opponent is almost always going to guard this, but this can be discarded. Your opponent has to get rid of it. But if we have this situation, we've got your Vanguard here, 2 rear guards, then you go attack with Vanguard, they perfect guard it, then you put all your triggers on here, you put all the criticals here, so you attack with this, and they're like, they either have to take, like, you know, 2 or 3 damage, or they get the card on Mega Locked. Yeah. So they have to guard both, or they have to choose what's more devastating to them, taking more damage, or being more, like,
or sacrifice all their hands. And
yeah, absolutely. So that's why it's 2 of this, 1 of this. I've seen people play 3 of this, I've seen people play 3 of this. I think the 2 of them are both as necessary as each other. Triggers, crit, 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 Crit. Simon, why do you play so many different versions of crits? Because if the opponent sees 4 of this in your drop zone, then they're going to be thinking, okay, he's playing 4 of that, and if you see another crit, then they're like, okay. But if the opponent sees this, and this, then they're like, okay, he's either playing 16 critical, or he's an idiot that's like using multiple. So I don't know if he uses draws triggers, I don't know if he uses stands. I mean, you wouldn't play stand in Chaos anyway, but I have seen a lot of people play draw triggers, so people can be people can be like, okay, I'll no guard this one and hope he doesn't get crits, and they don't realise they're against a 12 crit deck. So that's the reason why I split up the triggers.
And did you feel confident enough for not playing draws?
Yeah, the first one that I did that for was Euros, Worlds even, which I was playing Melborgs, and I switched from 4 draw, 8 crit, 4 heal to 12 crit, and I've never really looked back since. It's more dangerous because it's not as safe. Critical only works on your turn. Draw trigger activates on both players' turns. So, but it does give you that extra 10k guard, the extra 5k even. So I mean, it kind of evens itself out. But I do like 12 crit. 4 of this guy because he's actually got an effect. This thing's amazing. If you're down to like a low end deck, which you get really quickly on Chaos, you just call like 3 or 4 of this, and you don't have to resolve the effect of locking the opponent's back row. You just put it in, put it back into deck, and then you choose not to. So you just go like, if this is your hand, if you're like drawing, you're like 2 cards left in deck. You just go call,
and then he has 4 crits.
And I'm like drive checking 3 times, and I've got like 6 cards left in deck, and like 4 of them are crits. And the opponent's like, oh, okay, I guess I'm screwed then. Heal triggers. Simon, why do you play different heals? That's so that people think I'm playing 16 heals, because that's the intelligent move. That's the only reason behind that, because I'm an idiot. Start in Vanguard this, because you just put into Soul Search a grade 1. A grade 1 Star Vader, but that's like most of them. You don't want Destiny Dealer, and you don't want the perfect guard on your field. So everything that you want is all Star Vader. So it's literally Conroe, except for one joker.
So let's go to the G zone.
Okay. For Chaos Universe, one of them has to be SP. It's a rule. Chaos Universe is normally the go-to thing, because against Link Joker, people, I'll use the player as an example, people will just try not to call their hand because they know what Link Joker is. So this punishes it by choose a card from the hand, lock it here, and you lock the column here, or you just lock it here, and then you can use things like Palladium or Voltline to keep it locked, so that you do a second one and lock another one here. The other alternative punishment for that is Big Crunch, and Big Crunch is the punishment if they do call a field, because you just go, this column is now Omega locked, and then this column is now locked, and then you use Chaos Breaker to retire, and then you draw and you get advantage off it. So we play 4 of both of these because both of them punish in separate ways. Genesis, this is normally the first go-to stride. On hit, lock 1, choose 1 not to unlock. Sometimes you'll use the effect if you have the Arrestor Messiah. So use the Arrestor Messiah, lock itself, and then unlock it, and then attack again if you want to.
Did you stride first strides a lot of times in Chaos Universe, or?
Yeah. Well, Chaos Universe has 2 effects actually.
Yeah.
It's if he's got 2 face up in the G zone, then you choose another card to lock. But up until that point, you can still lock a card from your opponent's hand. So he has that ability that you can get around it. So sometimes you can just go for him first stride. Generally what you want to do is you want to try and G-guard first, and then go into either this or this, because both of these guys are good too. Okay. So Amnesty, you do this for the Arrestor Messiah turn, because you attack, it gives you 5 attacks, and then you also have the Excelix turn. That's why you play 2 of this, because the Excelix is really fluffy. Sometimes if you're setting up the Excelix turn, you'll just stride into this first, and then not use this effect, and then you'll stride into this second, and then you'll do the +3/+3, and then you'll retire the opponent's field as well. So it gives you the advantage of both, which is good. But this is also really good if you run out of soul in your Chaos Breaker, because it means you can still retire stuff without having to rely on soul. And then we're into G-guards. One Dismal, which is almost exclusively for against Kigero, because you don't want the the ace hitting, rear guard, and then like cannon blasting and stand itself. It's almost exclusively against not the ace, the end. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, it also works against the close. So I mean, it's just like you rarely use this thing, but like it does have situations. These guys are your main ones, which is you know, you lock one of your own rear guards, and then you set up for the Amazon Messiah turn or the Excelsis Messiah turn. So it gives you that advantage as well. Because I would say this is really bad in Chaos Breaker, like pure Chaos Breaker. But if you're playing like Messiah, it's fine. And this card, there's on occasion random times when you'll have like grade 3s in hand, and you know you'll need to, you know, the additional card to guard with. So you just discard the grade 3. This is why like this is something good. You don't play Seabreeze because your deck doesn't really care about GB. And you know, like
you got
almost nothing. Yeah, you've got limit breaks, you know, so you can just like get off your effects anyway. Right. So that's the main thing. Just for that, that's the main setup, and then you know you set up your Excelsis turn. That's everything. So,
would you make any changes? Maybe were you regretting something like in your decks? I mean, like maybe a 4th photon, like in grade 2, or like some draw triggers.
Well,
I don't know.
The original build that I played 3 of this card, and then I realised that I needed the extra 10k.
Yeah.
And I also, I think I mentioned earlier that I used to play 3 photon, and photon now changed to that into bowling. But I think this is the current best version of the build. So I think this is all, you know, like perfectly cool.
Alright.
But yeah, so I'll see you in the next tournament. Bye bye.